Hello and welcome back to the Movie Attic. I'm Mike, and as I've said a million times, this is the attic where I discuss and review movies, DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks for all the nice people out there in YouTube land. Today's big feature film is The Curse of Frankenstein. I had seen that this movie was coming out, and I was like, I think I might want to get that movie. I have never seen a Hammer film. In fact, I've never even seen the original Frankenstein, so I have nothing to compare it to other than that Dance of Macabre set there has Lady Frankenstein in, which I thought was real good. But regardless of that, I ordered this. I believe I ordered it a couple days before it was supposed to come out. It has the same basic inside artwork. It's the Warner Archive Collection. I guess that's who put it out. It is 3 discs. 2 4K and 1 Blu-ray, and there's the second 4K and the Blu-ray disc. The Blu-ray disc doesn't have any of the movie on, just some special features, which there's special features on the 4K discs as well. So what do you get in this? Well, since there's 3 discs, I have the piece of paper so I can keep track of it all. It's from 1957. It's in 4K with HDR. It's 83 minutes long in color. You have your choice of a 2.0 or a 5.1 audio track. It's not rated apparently, but if I was to rate it nowadays, it'd probably be like PG-13 at least. Disc 1 has... There's 3 different cuts of the movie. Don't think I mentioned that. There's the UK theatrical cut, which is in the 1:66 to 1 aspect ratio. There's an open matte set or cut that's 1:37 to 1 aspect ratio, which has the black bars on the sides, kind of a square picture. And both of those are on disc 1. Disc 2 4K has the US theatrical cut, and it's in the 1:85 to 1 aspect ratio. And I believe, and I could be wrong, but I think it says on the back if you read it, I believe each cut of the movie has an audio commentary by somebody different. And then the Blu-ray disc has bonus features. Like I said, I knew nothing about Hammer films, and I thought this would be a good film to start with. I know who Christopher Lee is, of course, and I do know too that Hammer films apparently have certain tropes to them that are synonymous with Hammer films, like it's a retelling of a classic story with a different twist to it. A lot of them star Christopher Lee. Apparently, from what I heard, the blood looks really fake in most of the Hammer films. And that's just a few things. And I think the closest I ever came to a Hammer film, I think, was Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow. I believe I mentioned in that episode that it's apparently like a Hammer film or shot like a Hammer film. and I really like that movie. So this stars, of course, Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, and then some guy who I can't pronounce his first name, so I'm just gonna call him Paul, and that's the character he is in the movie. They were all really good. There's a couple women in the movie. One is a childhood something related to Victor that she's betrothed to him later in the movie, and the other's his housekeeper or maid. Now, like I said, I have seen Christopher Lee in several films. I have not seen Peter Cushing in several films. In fact, other than Star Wars, I believe the only other film I've seen him in, and this also stars Christopher Lee, is Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, which I got from Vinegar Syndrome. I thought this was a really good movie as well. So that's a movie with that pairing of Lee and Cushing in it. So, if I was. Oh no, I'm not going to rate it yet. I guess I could tell the classic tale. I'm going to try and speed this up. This is like the second time I'm recording this video because the first one was like 18 minutes long. It's like, who wants to sit and listen to me for 18 minutes? Essentially, the story is the movie opens with Victor Frankenstein, played by Peter Cushing, in jail, awaiting his execution. A padre or pastor or man of the cloth comes in to talk to him. That's when Peter Cushing's character tells him this whole sordid tale of what happened. Essentially, Victor Frankenstein, the movie after that starts out where his mother, I believe, had just died. His father had died previously. So he's all alone. And the opening shot of that is these people and relatives are saying their condolences, and boom, they're out of there. So next comes Paul, who's Victor's tutor, which he comes to the house after all these people leave. Victor had written to him because he was in the he wanted to hire a tutor. Paul gets the job. He tutors Victor until he's taught him everything he knows. They have a friendship. They start working, like doing things together and working in the laboratory, which they made which is in the basement. So they essentially, their first big experiment is they bring this dog back to life. I don't know if this is unique to this story, but I thought if Tim Burton likes Hammer films, maybe that's where he got the whole story of Frankenweenie. But regardless of that, then Victor decides he wants to push it further. He wants to build a human being. He's going to get this guy that was executed, hanged on the outskirts of town, and have that as the base. And then he wants to get like the smartest brain to put in it, and then like the hands of like an artist, and different pieces and parts from all over. And he's running around gathering up all these pieces and parts. In the meantime, Paul doesn't really want any part of this, and Victor's always trying to convince him to stay on and keep working with him. And he's like, we're not really hurting anybody. But eventually, and this is a good tale of how you see somebody start out with good intentions and then slowly drift down to depravity. And Victor ends up killing a person for the brain that he wants. In the meantime, this woman comes back that's betrothed to him, supposed to be married. He has a housekeeper that he promised he'd marry her. She kind of blackmails him of sorts and ends up getting killed by the monster because Victor kind of locked her in the room with the monster. And then, Paul's in and out of the picture here and there. At one point, the monster wakes up accidentally, breaks loose of the place. They go out hunting the monster. Paul shoots the monster, kills it, drags it back. Victor, revives them. All culminating in a sequence on the roof that I don't want to spoil. And then you go back to the present day where Victor's in prison. He gets a visit from Paul. Paul sees that he's still kind of cuckoo pantsed. And so at the very end, and I hate to spoil this, Victor goes off to the gallows. But one of the aspects I thought was very interesting about this is I don't know if you could take it another way, that there's enough clues that would push it in a different direction, because don't forget, Victor's the one telling this story. So my question was, and it seemed like Paul was really enthralled with this woman that was betrothed to Victor. So you almost wonder, did Paul kind of set all this up, or set Victor up so he could get the girl? Or, is there something more going on, or is it just straightforward, what you see is what happened? But it kind of leaves the door open for interpretation. And I'm sure you could have a million conspiracy theories about it. But, like I said, I thought the acting was excellent. I also said that I'd never really seen Peter Cushing in anything other than Star Wars and this other one. But I thought he was superb as Victor. I thought the guy that played Paul was very good. And Christopher Lee, he was just walking around. And in fact, if you didn't know he was in the movie, you probably wouldn't know, because he's made up to the hilt. You can't really tell it's him. So, like I said, I really liked it. The video quality I thought was very good. There's some parts that look softer than others, but I don't know if that was intentional, or the how the film was stored or what condition it was in. But it was really good. I mean, this is probably the best it's gonna look. It's not like Ten Commandments good. That movie looked just super excellent. But, and I thought the kid that played young Victor was very good as well. So, that's a lot shorter than my other version of this review. If I was to give the Curse of Frankenstein a rating, which I guess that's what they're paying me for. Oh, well, I guess they're not paying me for it. I would give it at least 8.5 rolls of pink. 8.5 rolls of pink insulation out of 10. I enjoyed it. I didn't watch all the aspect ratios of it, but I did start the open matte version and probably watched 3/4 of that. And, I liked it. They had the black bars on either side, but, I just wanted to get a look, see what it was like. So, if you have this release, or you have a previous release, or have seen the movie, or you love Hammer films and have a bunch of other ones to suggest for me, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section. Like I always say, I'd love to discuss it. I'm all about discovering new movies, and this was definitely a discovery for me that I really liked. Like I say, there's a big 6-disc version of this movie out there that I'm sure if you really want, you could probably get. So, until the next time when I'm in the attic with a completely different movie, a Halloween movie, uh, and it's going to have my oldest son in. Not the movie, but the channel will. Um, and I don't know if that'll be the last Halloween movie that I'll be able to squeeze in. I've already almost doubled the amount of videos I make in a month, which I know makes everybody sick. So until then, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.